Good morning. Ted and I are here at a cabin at Wilderness Tours. This is an adventure outfitter on the Ottawa River, and they are putting together a special course today as per our request to teach us how to each row 18-foot inflatable rafts with oars. So we're gonna have to learn how to push, how to face forward, navigate rapids, how to spin it around, bomb over huge waves backwards. And this is a very important learning step towards our fast approaching trip down the Grand Canyon, which has us both absolutely terrified. There's lava falls that has 20-foot waves that can easily flip a raft and all kinds of stuff. So pretty soon you're gonna see Ted and I bombing into some enormous, huge standing waves, battling through holes, getting soaked, and just fighting the intense whitewater here on the Ottawa River. This is a big water, high volume river, and some of the best whitewater rafting you will find anywhere. So we're getting right into her. Well, we have met our instructor extraordinaire, Matt, and he's kind of briefed us on the day's itinerary. Yeah, feeling a little jittery, but also excited. We don't exactly have a perfect day. It's supposed to hammer rain, but you know, it'll just toughen us up a little. Anyways, here we go. One of the things that I'm bringing along that's completely waterproof is this Nanuk Trail 10. It is super durable, has a lifetime warranty, and is great for holding gear. You can see what I have into this today. Extra little emergency snack, multi-tool, some beaners, my inReach satellite texting device, a lighter, and that pulls out. Great for carrying stuff you want to be accessible yet waterproof. That's a gravity filter. Got my little isobutane stove here, some binos. You got this little compartment here. You can store batteries, bug spray, sunscreen. Really be a good little thing to use as a day bag. And on the front here, it has a little pressure equalizer. So if you're taking it on a plane or something, it won't want to implode. You can throw on a shoulder strap too, which is great. But we won't be portaging here. Anyways, I'm just gonna be throwing all this gear in the raft, and we're gonna be pulling out of here in the next couple of minutes. We're getting pretty excited. Well, here we go. This is fun already, buddy. It is just after the May 2-4 long weekend here in Ontario, and the water is high. So in general, that means we're gonna be hitting up some big features today, big standing waves, not too many rocks to avoid, but likely some big souse holes, which is just boiling water that you can get stuck in. Definitely the kind of river where you want to be whitewater rafting as opposed to in a canoe at these levels. Matt, our instructor, is in Ted's boat, and instead of taking his own boat, which he might do tomorrow, he's going to sit in our boats, taking turns and giving us pointers as we go. Tomorrow he'll bring his own boat, maybe kayak, I don't know, and kind of explain things to us, but that way we can just have the one-on-one coaching. We mentioned that we thought that was pretty brave of him to sit in a raft with two guys that have never rafted before, bombing class 4s, but he says he's a good swimmer, so that's good.
When we're heading down, we'll pull out, we'll head for the V. When you look at it, there'll be a breaking wave over on our left, on the river left. Yeah. We're more than welcome to run over it if you want, but you're just going to end up in the eddy behind it and fighting the eddy. So we sort of avoid that one, not because it's a big deal, just because we want to stay in the current and keep running downstream.
Okay, here we go, baby. Concerning, not very much control there.
Well, that was not very pretty, but it was my first time. So, you know, in order to get decent at something, you have to suck first. Right now, we're learning how to ferry across a really strong current. We have to get to the other side of this current or we'll get swept down the wrong channel. Ferrying is basically when you mix the power of your paddling, mix with the angle of your canoe and the side wash of the current on your boat. And if you get all those things right, your net movement will be sideways. So I've never done this in a raft before. It's something I do regularly in a canoe. So it's a little different because, you know, everything's kind of turned backwards when you're rafting with oars anyways. So let's see how this works out. So far, so good. Oh, I'm doing it forwards too. Current's getting stronger. Well, definitely a lot slower than canoeing. Okay, well, we got Matt in my boat and me and Ted are kind of trading off so we can get kind of some direct instructions. And what class is this one, Matt?
2.5, 3.
2, okay, so class 2.5, 3 to a rafting guy, so class 4. Now, I'm just going off what Matt has told us. So essentially, when you're rafting, being sideways is okay. But this one's kind of technical, it's kind of small. So I should just run this eddy line here.
Yeah, for sure. Run the eddy line if you, and I would actually at this point, I'd point my nose that way and be sideways. Even more so, yeah. There you go.
I was planning on that.
And now you can just float. There you go. Just keep to the center of the channel.
Nice. This is fun, man. This is technical. Ish. Sideways is okay, they say.
Against the wall, that we're just going to float in and then just roll away from the wall. Perfect. That was the move. And now we can float again. We're off the wall. We're good. Back in that. There you go.
I'm sorry. That's because I missed the middle.
You want to go surf?
Huh?
You want to go surf?
Can you surf on that? Oh. Oh, I'm gonna miss it. Too late.
Don't get mad tomorrow. But you can see why there's no point rowing down there.
Right. Yeah. Sorry, I got us a little sideways, but I figured it out though. Well, we just stopped for a little lunch break and ran a waterfall. We kind of cheated it with a couple of paddles that had washed up on shore here. And we found those paddles. Otherwise, it's too narrow for the oars, and we would have had to line it, which is like walking along shore holding a rope. But that was way better. So yeah, Ted went down with Matt. Matt did both runs, and it was a lot of fun, a lot better than portaging too. But now we have a huge hole to try to avoid and a huge wave to crash over at the end of the rapid here. So that's next. Nice, that was fun. Well, we're learning. We felt pretty good after that one. But anyways, yeah, on to the next rapid, I guess. There you go. Nice. Now we can start working that way. Keep rolling. That's what we're going over. Alright, we're good. Just float, float. We're gonna get there, don't worry. That's fun. Okay, well, nothing like a hard day's training on the Ottawa. Awesome. Heading back to our cabin now at Wilderness Tours, and we're basically going to do the same thing tomorrow, but hit some things a little differently. So I'm excited for it, but what a blast. I'm feeling more confident today now than I did this morning, which is always a good thing because I suppose it could go either way. Anyways, I'm going to go have a bite to eat and have a beer. All right, this is available at every LCBO store in Ontario, Canada, across the province. And my beer is a crisp, refreshing Pilsner with a slight bit of smoky flavor. And it's actually made from real smoked barley. So it's got that nice little campfire-y flavor to it that everybody knows and loves.
7 down smaller than spawn.
Oh! Yeah!
Nice.
So day 2, we are launching from the same spot, but we are hitting some new sets of rapids. And we got our confidence up yesterday, but it sounds like we're hitting some bigger stuff and some more gnarly stuff. So you know, my nerves are going back up, and it's a cold day. It's raining, it's windy, and that definitely adds a little bit of fear to it. But a little bit of fear is good. It's always good to stay on your toes and you know, respect what you're about to do. So I feel like that helps a little bit. Although sometimes it's, you know, I would like my heart to beat a little slower.
Well, yesterday we just sort of got familiar with the oars, lots of mileage. We did the whole stretch, so about 16 kilometers. Enjoyed everything, did the easier channels. Today we're going to start lining up some of the bigger waves so they get some of that experience of hitting some bigger stuff and having to push through it rather than just sort of hold on to it. And catch some more eddies, hit some bigger whitewater, and have to pull just a little bit harder today.
One of the biggest challenges I've had is just getting used to rowing facing forward, and we're starting the day off paddling into a pretty strong headwind.
See it?
On the far left or the middle right?
Middle right.
Okay.
The big one that's building and crashing.
Yeah.
That's Sattlers. So that's the big wave I'm talking about is hitting.
Okay.
So when we leave the eddy, we're going to leave this eddy.
Back ferry.
Line up Sattlers, and then we're going to hit that big white wave.
Okay, are we gonna back ferry into the current?
Yeah, you can. You also have lots of time to spin it. I would honestly, whichever way you're oriented, I would just push out into the current.
Paddle forwards and then turn.
Spun so you can see it, and maybe back, forward, or left. I would almost stay sideways for as long as you can, and then just before you get to the wave, turn it straight.
What happens if we hit it sideways? Do we dump?
It depends. If it crashes when you're on it sideways, maybe. If it's green when you're on it sideways, no.
All right, baby, we're hitting some pretty crazy stuff here. Oh my goodness, this is interesting. Woo! Woo! Huh. What the hell is going on there? Wow. Very close to dumping. I definitely hit that at the most intense part. Woo! But you know what? That's what I did right, was I intentionally hit exactly where I wanted to hit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go hit the most intense part of this thing, you know what I mean? And like, I'm getting into it, I'm like, I don't know what's gonna happen here.
But even when I hit the curling one just down here, it held us for a bit, and yours was way bigger.
Yeah, it was really fun.
I can't compare it to lava in size, but that feeling of getting stopped, that's what, you know, that's what everybody would say it is, right? Because you hit a wave and you crawl up it, but you've lost so much momentum.
And then if it turns you,
you just start to slide down it.
Right.
So it's the same. The thing is, if you had 3 people in your boat, all in the front, right, you probably would have just plowed under it.
Right.
Yeah.
But here's the kicker, just like a canoe, where a canoe's the heavy end wants to go downstream.
Right.
If you had hit it and it stopped and your boat spun, now you'd just be surfing because all your weight would be in the trough of the wave.
But at that point, you can power through paddling backwards, I think. Yeah.
You're just going to try and keep it straight.
You're going to turn sideways and dump, probably.
You're just going to try and keep it straight.
I just did a little bit of a back ferry to avoid bombing over this waterfall here, and we're going to try to run down a different channel, but this should be interesting. Another big rapid here coming up.
So not as smooth on my back ferry there today. Yesterday the front ferry went well. And then at the falls I back ferried across good. But this time I just lost the angle, spun around, feel like a failure.
One thing that's going to be different is when we're on the Grand Canyon, our rafts are going to be a little bigger, but they're also going to be heavily loaded. So we're going to have more inertia. I'm not going to get stuck and surf on the waves as easily as I did earlier in the day today. All right.
When we come in with the raft, we actually want to be floating down these waves with the front of our boat pointing at where we are now into this eddy. And as soon as our butt sort of looks like we can slide ourselves sideways by doing a couple good back strokes, like a back ferry, we'll back ferry into that eddy.
We're going to run this and back ferry into there?
Into that eddy.
To me, that's hard.
It's not easy, but it's good. So we slide down and it's float, 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 be ready, have our angle set. When we get sort of onto the reactionary and the water's starting to push us that way, we help it by a couple big backstrokes and we end up in that eddy. If we miss the eddy, it's not a big deal. We just go around the corner. There's nothing really around the corner. It's just fun. But the catching the eddy is kind of the sexy move and it's what we want to do.
You saw Casey get to in his kayak, so it's pretty technical and challenging maneuver, but I'm excited to give it a shot. That there is the reactionary wave. We're gonna have to break through that, come into here, and then back ferry over into there. Okay, baby, this is probably the most technical one yet. And there's some major hazards. There's a big hole on one side and a channel that's super shallow on the other. So, fairly terrified. Well, that was awesome, actually. It went not exactly like I foresaw it going in my head, but turned out just fine. You know, I didn't back ferry over as effectively as I thought I was going to, but in the end, I didn't really need to. I got over enough, and I kind of just went with the current going in the right direction and hit that last tight drop. I had to ship my oar in like this so it wouldn't get hung up on the rock wall, but yeah, it was a lot of fun. Definitely felt pretty terrifying going into it because that's like the most technical thing we've done yet. So yeah, I feel good. I mean, I don't feel like I absolutely aced it, but I definitely learned from watching you guys go first, so thank you. All right, here's another terrifying hole we're about to bomb into. Yeah! What I'm doing right now is essentially bombing directly into the thing that I would try my absolute hardest to avoid on a canoe trip. Woo! Nailed it! Punch through it. Now what I could have done there is paddle backwards and probably surfed on that. Yeah! So So this channel, at least this portion of it, is the same way we came yesterday. So this is called Garvin, and it's a freaking waterfall, but we're able to kind of cheat it down the side using paddles with 2 people in each raft, and it's just too narrow and shallow for the oars. So basically we're gonna do what we did yesterday, a little lower water. Maybe we'll get hung up and have to line, I don't know. We're gonna jump into it though. But wow, what a powerful and amazing piece of water. And just to think that this is just one drop here, and this is an island, and then there's another channel and another channel. So it's just such a large, high volume river, and you could run the same stretch of river but have an almost completely different day, multiple days in a row, because there's so many different channels. So pretty special and cool place here for sure. Anyways, yeah, Ted and I are gonna get after it. A little nervous, but it'll be good to get it out of the way. Somehow got hung up a bit there.
And if we just, beautiful. Now if we just sort of float it, and then just sort of keep ourselves close to the eddy line, but not right on it, we'll end up in a big city. Second wind, and then go left.
Okay.
There you go. It's perfect. There you go. Really got it. There we go. Now to the left. There. Now we can go.
Oh, I made it left this time.
This is what we call the clapper.
Yeah.
You want to hit the left hand, your right tube on the left hand corner of it, and then work your way back towards the middle.
Okay.
Now you can start turning it down.
Oh, he fell out. The raft didn't flip though.
No, that's what I said. He's probably more likely to fall out than the raft to flip over.
Yeah. He bombed into it sideways though. Guess what I was thinking, we weren't gonna flip, eh? Okay, well here we are. Matt was just telling me about how he bombs around in this jet boat and rescues people at the base of some of these rapids. Tough job. Anyways, we did it. We stopped a little earlier today. But I'm feeling like amazing. Ted had a swim, I didn't, so that makes me feel superior to him. And now we're gonna practice riding a raft. So we're gonna get in the water and we're gonna learn how to flip it over if it's upside down.
If it's a heavy boat and you know that you have most of your weight in the back, you're gonna flip it over the back. In other words, you're gonna keep that end low and you'll try and put what you're flipping up front here. So when the boat goes over, the weight center stays low and you're just flipping the heavy part. You're not trying to pick the heavy part up out of the water. Yeah. Good. With your boats, because I have a feeling they're going to be lighter than we were expecting. Okay. You're not going to have to use your Z drag. You just basically get back. And know it's going to land on your head. Okay. Right? So that's the move. And go get her, boys. Ah! Like swim on, like get right up inside the boat, like hug at the cross tube. Like get yourself up nice and flat.
Okay, give her.
Flat, flat, flat. Get your belly up to the bottom of the boat.
You'll never get it!
One more. Hold on, hold on. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Okay, well, is that it, Matt? Are we done? We are done.
Yeah!